Yeah, so we've got Steve Hansen coming up shortly.
How have we got this?
So I used to work for Radio Sport, so I've got, well, I wouldn't say I'm friends with him, but I've got a relationship with him. I just emailed him.
People, right?
New Zealand's a small place, so 6:30 in the morning.
He's having a full English, isn't he? He's down Wetherspoons. You have Wetherspoons?
Steve here.
Hi, Steve. It's Andy Rowe calling from the Rugby Pod podcast. Just thank you very much, first of all, for talking to us and giving us the time. I know it's early in the day over in New Zealand, 6:30 in the morning. I'll just quickly go around the room and let you know who we've got in the room. We've got Andy McNair, who's our news guy. We've got Andy Goode. Do you remember Andy Goode?
Yeah, I remember him.
And we've got Fred, who's the boss of the Rugby Pod, and Jim Hamilton is on the other line. I'm not sure if he can hear you. Can you hear Steve, Jim?
I can hear Steve, yeah.
Very good.
Hello.
So quickly, Steve, just another convincing performance by your side over the weekend. You must be pretty happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, of course. It's Argentina. They're a good side, and the scary thing is they're only going to get better, and that's probably a product of being in the Rugby Championship. And whilst the scoreline might look a little bit lopsided on face value, it doesn't truly tell you how competitive those blokes were for 50 to 60 minutes. And as soon as they can create some depth like we have, and have a bench that matches the starting 15 in terms of quality and execution and energy, well, the rest of us better watch out, because they will be a force in world rugby, mark my words. They've really got some special players. They just need more of them.
Steve, Andy Goode here. Thanks for coming on. Just a quick question. Obviously, post-World Cup, again, congrats for that. We can only say well done. Post-World Cup, you lose Cotter, McCaw and Mialamu and all the experience you do, and you bring in these new wave of players, and the standards have gone up. Where do you see, obviously coaches analyse their team the whole time, where do you see any work-ons or weaknesses for the All Blacks at the minute? Because from this side of the world, we don't see any. And obviously with the Lions coming up, we need to find a little chink of light somewhere with a hope to be competitive and try and beat you.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, old son. Look, we're always working on everything. There's not one thing that we look at and say, well, the line out's a little bit sketchy, or we're not as dominant in the scrum, or the catch, pass, kick, all that sort of carry on. We're constantly working, because if we stand still, then the rest of the world goes past us. So there's nothing that we're not looking at, if that makes sense. To answer your question, I mean, we're not the perfect team. I'm not saying that we are, but yeah, good luck trying to find that chink in the armour, because when the Lions do come down here, we and all the other Super Rugby franchises are going to give them a bit of a hurry up, let me tell you.
And we've got Jim Hamilton on the other line, Steve. Jim, do you have any questions you want to put to Steve Hansen?
Well, I was just interested to know, obviously we look at New Zealand, a lot of us look at the Super 15, and even in the Premiership, and when we go into European games, a lot of clips will get drawn up of the Super 15, obviously New Zealand especially of late, in the last couple of games they played against Australia. Are we ever analysed? Is the Premiership ever shown there? Obviously, Saracens have had a successful couple of years. Is there anything that you look at, analyse any of our teams here and pick up things from?
Well, the primary focus is always from within. So while we do pay attention to other competitions and the other teams around the world, we like to look at ourselves and make sure that when our competitions are strong, then we're going to be stronger than the other teams around the world, if that makes sense. So, I mean, when we take Super Rugby, for example, whilst, it might be considered slightly weaker across the other countries, South Africa and Australia and the like, our conference is super strong. I mean, the Blues, they finished last in the New Zealand conference this year, but most likely they could have topped the Australian one if they were in it. And we had 4 teams in the last 8. The Hurricanes won the comp without even conceding a try through the entire final series. And so when we know that we're strong, we don't really have to pay too much attention to what's going on abroad because, well, we know we're better than you blokes.
That's very true. Obviously, with the Lions coming over, they're going to be led by a Kiwi in Warren Gatland. There might be a Kiwi captain as well. I say he's an Englishman, but he's from New Zealand, and Dylan Hartley. And obviously Falatau and Vunipola. How's Warren going to be accepted over there as the Lions coach and welcomed into the country? And will he get a load of abuse, or will he be welcomed with open arms?
Gats is a good bloke, and so it's never in question that he'll be accepted with open arms. He's a good Waikato guy. A lot of supporters back here, and I guess the main thing is he's not a dick. So people back here still love him, even though he's chosen to apply his trade overseas. And that's what Kiwis do. There's limited jobs in this country, so they end up going abroad and plying their trade in places like Wales and Scotland and the like, and they hope that experience offshore will eventually pay dividends, and they'll get back in the country and pick up a job at a super franchise or MPC, or maybe even start working with me in the All Blacks. So it's an exciting time to have Gats coming over, and I can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve and if he can tip us up.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with us. Jim, do you have any more questions from your end, mate?
No, I don't know. No, it's just awesome listening to Steve and how successful they've been. It's good. So appreciate him coming on.
One thing I will say, Steve, just before you go, and obviously winning the World Cup last time, and before that, obviously under Graham Henry as well. You both learnt your trade in Wales, didn't you? And as an Englishman, I hate saying that. I say you didn't learn your trade, but obviously you spent time over here with the Wales squad. I'm a firm believer in hope and everything. I'm hoping Warren Gatland can take his Wales good luck from you guys that have won the World Cup and take over the Lions over there and come away with a victory. You still got a soft touch for Wales, having spent some time over here?
Well, yeah, of course I do. Yeah, it's funny. I was when I was told that I was going to be talking to you blokes, so I did a little bit of research, and I know that you said that New Zealand coaches they come to the UK, but quite often they don't adapt and they end up being failures. And I was just interested in that, because what is your definition of a failure? Because it's an interesting term, that one. Graham Henry, he coached in the UK, and 2011 World Cup he wins it. I coached in the UK. I've won a Rugby World Cup, so Kiwis don't do too badly now, do we?
No, you don't. You don't. I may have been taken out of context. My point, Steve, was
when I look in the mirror, I don't see a failure staring back at me. What do you see, Goody?
No, I see
Mr Blobby from Old House Party.
Yeah, what I see about myself is a happy-go-lucky guy that's put on a bit of weight, likes a beer. But no, listen, my point.
What's going on with that lid, son?
Yeah, it was growing back. He's coming back strong. I've taken some from the back and put it to the front. I'm loving this. You don't mind a beer the size of you as well, do you?
You probably did the first five, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I tried to.
Yeah, just directing a side around the park. I mean, you can direct me to the buffet, old son.
Well, no, that's because you're first there, I think. That's the problem.
And look at the state of me. I know my way to it.
Yeah, no, my point was, in my defence, was there's been a fair few New Zealand coaches that have come to the Premiership, and I just said the Premiership. And that's what I meant in terms of, and haven't been as successful. Brewer wasn't particularly successful at Sale, and obviously Buck Shelford in my time at Saracens, and Tom Coventry last year at Irish, and they're all fantastic coaches when they're right. My point was there's a difference between coaching in New Zealand and the New Zealand way, and understanding the Premiership. But I'll take my abuse from you, Steve.
I was just trying to stick it to you.
I like it.
I can't forget someone who hung out DC to dry. Dan Cotter.
Yeah,
he's a protected species in this country, just like Richie. You mess with him, and you mess with the whole country.
Yeah,
you become public enemy number one.
I know. I got him once.
Ask Craig Cooper.
Yeah.
Just ask Craig Cooper how much he likes New Zealand.
Very true. Very true. I don't think he's born and bred there, wasn't he? He doesn't like it. He gets a lot of stick there.
Takaroa.
He ran away because he couldn't handle it.
Very true, very true.
All right, Steve.
Jim, I need to say something to you, Jim, because you threw my old mate Vern under the bus.
Hey, I don't know what to say
Telling
about
that rabbit story.
Yeah, Vern rang me, mate. Vern rang me, and he was not happy. But he said that.
Oh, but he wasn't.
Yeah, so I've told him if he picks
It was
me
a bit
again for
nasty.
Scotland, if he picks me again for Scotland, I'll take it back. So I'm just waiting for that.
Went for the call, Jim.
It must be a cultural thing, because if you did that here in New Zealand, you'd be a national hero, because rabbits are a pest.
We've had some
I'm
front
always
page
out
headlines.
with the 22 taking pot shots at the bastard.
Hey, wow. Hey, not in Scotland. It's not allowed.
You're in France,
Well,
weren't you,
you
Jim?
put them up on a pedestal or something.
Exactly. No comment. I'm not allowed to comment, Vern said.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thanks, Steve. Love your humour as well. It's good to see an absolute legend of a coach that's the current world champion and going so well. You've also got a brilliant sense of humour in abusing two very average rugby
Take
players.
yourself too seriously.
No, I like it. I like it. Good man. Thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot, boys.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, Steve.
Mate.
Can we get him back on for a quick second just to say thanks to stuff here? Yeah.
What a good bloke.
Yeah, good.
Bloody English, bloody poems.
See you today.
Yeah, Steve. Sorry, we just cut you off there. Just wanted to say thank you very much for coming on here, mate. Appreciate that, and good luck for the season.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
I also just want to say to Jim and to Andy Goode that it's actually my friend Goran, a friend of mine from back in New Zealand, that's just been chatting to you, pretending to be Steve Hansen, having you on.
Oh, wow.
He's a pundit.
Are you taking the piss?
All right? Did you enjoy that? It was pretty insightful stuff, wasn't it?
That was good. It probably sounded as if he would sound.
You want to have seen how red Andy Goode's face was whenever he was giving you grief.
Are you taking the mic?
Jim, how you getting on over there, mate?
Well, mate, I'm sat in a bloody car park, mate. Wondering what the hell's going on. Was that Steve or not?
No, it's not Steve Hansen. It's my friend Goran Paladin from Radio Sport in New Zealand.
That is a hell of an impression.
You got me up out of bed at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Steve. Oh, mate, that was outstanding.
Yeah, so he does a lot of Coach Steve impersonations for Radio Sport, and it's a regular feature in New Zealand. Goran, thank you so much for coming on, and you should have seen the bead of sweat that was dripping down Andy Goode's face.
I'm amazed that Steve Hansen could come at me about getting to the buffet quicker than him. Yes. I love that, to be fair.
Man, I can't believe you said that you listened to the show. I was like, Steve, you've been listening in, mate.
He'd done some research, hadn't he?
Yeah. Hey, look, he's a well-researched man, but I'm not.